1913 was when the Federal Reserve Bank was created, and 1971 was when the United States dollar was taken off of the gold standard.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets. The effect of this action, in other words, will be to stabilize the dollar.
The Federal Reserve Bank changed our monetary system, and then the dollar being taken off of the gold standard changed what our money is. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because in 2024, Americans are now really feeling the impacts of what happened on these two dates, because Americans are feeling the financial pain, but they have no idea why they're becoming poorer, even when they're working harder to earn more money. Let me ask you a question. What could you buy with this $100 bill? Well, it depends on when you go shopping. In theory, that $100 can buy you more stuff yesterday than today, but you're not going to notice a price difference day to day. So let's go back a number of years and see how your money has changed after the dollar was taken off of the gold standard. Because back in 1971, the $100 could buy you a whole lot more stuff. What does that mean? Well, back in 1971, the median household income was only $10,290. But things were also cheaper, because if you wanted to buy a new car, the average new car was selling for around $5,000. The median home price in America was selling for $25,200. And if you wanted to go to a university, a public university for 1 year, it would cost you $400. Let's compare that to 2023. In 2023, the median household income grew to around $70,000. That's an increase of around 600%. In 2023, the average new car sold for around $42,000. That's an increase of just over 700%. In 2023, the median home price in America sold for around $484,000. That's an increase of around 1,800%. And in 2023, if you wanted to go to college at a public university, it costs around $9,300 for 1 year, which is an increase of around 2,200%. So sure, you got a 600% increase in incomes over the last 50 or so years, but the prices of things that you need have gone up significantly faster than that. But that's not even the kicker. Back in 1971, the median household income was based off of one person's income. In 2023, most households were a two-income household. So you double the number of people working, but most people still aren't able to keep up with the price growth of things. Let's focus our thoughts here on money, because I would say the majority of people in America are working to earn money. The problem with that, though, is you're working to earn something that's losing value. What do I mean? Over the last 50 years, we have seen an average inflation rate of 3.3%, which essentially means that your dollars are losing around 3.3% of their value each and every year. And the average person is working to earn money and save money. Versus what some people are doing, the wealthy, they're working to earn money to invest. They want to own more investments, because over the same last 50 years, what we've seen is that the stock market, more particularly the S&P 500, which is just an index in the stock market, this has grown by around 11.4% a year for the last 50 years. So the average person is working to earn money and save that money, which is losing value to inflation, while some people, the wealthy, are working to invest their money, which has been growing in value. And I'm not even talking about rental properties, because we already showed you what's going on with home prices. But if I'm being honest with you, this is not even the craziest part. It gets even more interesting when you understand the way that our economic system works. I'll show you, because the way that this system works is we have consumers, investors, and entrepreneurs. So you as a consumer, everybody's a consumer. Rich people, middle class people, poor people, everybody is a consumer, because everybody eats, everybody buys things. And so now you as a consumer, you go and spend money at a business created by an entrepreneur. You go to Chipotle, you buy some extra guac. Chipotle is making money, but that also benefits the investors, the owners of Chipotle. And now when you have inflation happen, what that means is now you have to spend more money as a consumer when you go to these businesses. When you buy that extra guac, it's going to cost you more money. When you buy some clothes, it's going to cost you more money. When you buy a car, it's going to cost you more money. So you as a consumer, you have to spend even more money here, which then means the investors are also benefiting, because the investors are owning those businesses. The money comes out of the pockets of consumers. Now, how do most consumers earn their money? Most consumers are earning their money from their income from their job. And well, what we've seen happen is job income hasn't been keeping up with inflation. So that means more and more of your paycheck is being used just to buy things. But that's not all. The average consumer, the average worker, has less money left over, versus investors are getting more of those dollars flowing into their accounts, because, well, as more money goes into the hands of businesses, that means the investors are getting richer. But then you also have the tax code, which also is designed to benefit the financially educated. How do I know this? Well, I am a licensed attorney and I'm not your attorney, as a little disclaimer. But what I can tell you is that our tax code, it taxes income differently depending on how you earn the money. Our tax code has 3 general buckets of income. You have ordinary income, you have portfolio income, and then you have passive income. Portfolio and passive income are 2 different types of investment income. And your earned income or your ordinary income, that is the money you make from your W-2 job. That's the money you make from your job. And your job income, your ordinary income, your earned income, those are interchangeable. Those incomes come with the highest tax rates and the lowest tax deductions. Versus the money you make from your investments, these come with potentially lower tax rates or higher tax deductions. Which means if you go out and you became a surgeon, and you made $1 million a year working a job, you might be paying close to half of that money in taxes. But if you made that same $1 million as an investor, you might be paying 20% of the money in taxes, maybe even 0% of the money in taxes legally because, well, depending on how you earn the money as an investor, you can qualify for lower tax rates or higher tax deductions. That's what wealthy people are doing, is they understand the system. They understand that inflation hurts people that are working to earn money just to buy more things. Inflation benefits the wealthy and the financially educated. Then when you see that benefit happen, the economic system then rewards you because they say, hey, you're an investor, you get a lower tax rate, you get more tax deductions, and it's 100% legal. Now, what does this mean for you? This means you have to get financially educated because the only way that you can win in the system is to stop just being a consumer and become an investor. Not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur, but everybody in America needs to be an investor if you want to build wealth. Now, that's not easy because that means, number one, you can't spend all of your money. Number 2, that means you have to start learning about investing. You got to start putting your money to work. And then you got to be able to go through the ups and downs of investing because investing is not all sunshine and rainbows. You're going to see recessions. You're going to see market crashes. You're going to see a lot of crazy things happen. You're going to make bad investment decisions. Why I always say investing has risks. You're never guaranteed to make money when you invest. In fact, you will lose money, which is why you have to always do your own due diligence and never blindly trust a random guy on YouTube. But the whole idea here is if you can be financially educated, if you can start doing this, you're going to have the opportunity to build a whole lot more wealth because you're never going to become rich from your salary alone. The only way you can become wealthy and free is if you own the investments because now you can get paid when you're not working. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.